When the right people come together at the right moment, when they care almost as much about winning as they do about each other, they can become the best of the best.
Welcome to the best soccer show, the best soccer show in the whole world.
Here we go! It's the best soccer show. Jason Davis, Jared DuBois. I might be hot. I might be a little hot.
You're the only one.
On a Wednesday night. The United States won a soccer game over Honduras in frigid St. Paul, Minnesota. They won 3-0. Goals by, let me think, Weston McKennie, Walker Zimmerman, Christian Pulisic. Jared, I mean, everything's good again, right? We got no problems. We're completely safe to qualify. We can all celebrate here tonight together, correct?
Safe to qualify. I don't know about that. I mean, some of the other stuff you can feel good about. I don't know if we're safe to qualify just yet.
Okay.
But listen, there's nothing wrong with feeling good tonight. There's nothing wrong with feeling good tonight. And it's okay that if you feel like you swung emotionally in the last 4 days, because you probably should have.
Look, just to make sure that we are even keel, right? That we are not going overboard with our excitement about a 3-0 win over an already eliminated Honduras team. Nate, not that one. That's not the one I was going to grab from Nate. This is the one I was going to grab from Nate. Inability to score from the run of play, worrisome. I mean, come on, guys. Is that what we're going to do tonight? Maybe it is. Maybe that's not what we should do tonight. Be honest.
Fair. It's fair.
Be fair. Look, Greg Berhalter taking selfies with fans at the end of the game. He obviously felt pretty good about the way that this went for him and his boys. And, you know, we spent 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 6 months or whatever it was since they decided to play this game in Minnesota, talking about how this was insane. The weather thing was insane. And that doesn't change.
Yeah. Just
because they beat Honduras 3-0 and righted the ship a little bit ahead of the final window doesn't mean it was okay to play the game in 4-degree temperature, 3-degree temperature. I mean, U.S. Soccer Twitter, I mean, not the fan base, the actual account for the U.S. men's national team making jokes, more goals than we have degrees on the board. I mean, come on.
That's a good joke. It's a good joke.
But it's tone deaf as hell, Jared, right now. It is.
Well, did someone die?
I mean, no.
Hold on. It remains to be seen. I mean,
right.
Okay, so it was cold. Okay, I get it. It was cold. You know, like it sucks, but at the same time, it's not tone deaf to have fun with it. It's tone deaf if someone's actually like suffering for something and it happens. But I like the fact they made this call. No, this is a Honduras team. You saw what they looked like. You didn't need this. You didn't need this fixture to beat this team.
No, you didn't. You didn't need to be in St. Paul in those temperatures with Matt Turner sacrificed out there in order to beat Honduras. They were cooked. They were cooked coming in. And look, maybe you didn't know they would already be eliminated when you scheduled this game. And look, on some planet there is an advantage to having, I don't know, coldish temperatures against a team from Central America. But man, like it speaks to the overthinking of everything that's going on right now. And if there is a worry, that's what it is for me. Again, 3 goals from set pieces. Christian Pulisic gets on the score sheet. Lots of people questioning the decision to even put him in the game, Jared. Lots of people freaking out. Why would you risk Christian Pulisic's hamstrings in 6-degree, 3-degree, 12-degree?
I think because the goal. That's why the guy needed something. First of all, it allows 2 things. One, it allows him the opportunity to get off the schneid a little bit, okay, and get a goal. Mm-hmm. 2.
Oh, by the way, can I play that? Can I play this officially without you freaking out now? Is it okay? Is it okay again? I mean,
sure. He tapped it in from 8. We can play that.
No. Look, I'm not going to say he had some wonderful, incredible. Finish? Yeah, from where he was, top of the box. Absolutely.
He was like 12.
I'd like you to go back and watch that again. He was pretty close to the top of the box. And whether or not it's a great
didn't let me make my point. You interrupted me. Still let me make my point.
I just asked if I could play the drop. That's all I asked.
No, but then you went on a rant.
Don't yell at me. Why are you so angry?
I'll throw something. So it's one thing I say, like, it allows him to get off the schneid. That's the point I was making. Then 2, what it really does is allows Greg Berhalter to say, This was always the plan. Two starts for him, get minutes here, and it doesn't look like you punished him. It doesn't look like you took him off because the U.S. couldn't do anything with him. And it allows you to spin the narrative of what this was. This was always the plan. And here's the thing. If I told you before this window started, Christian Pulisic was going to start 2 games and come in the 65th in one of them, that sounded about right probably, right?
Yeah, probably did, regardless of what the goals, the score lines were in the games individually. Yeah, I probably would have said that sounds about right. You're not going to run him out there 3 starts in a row, even if he hasn't played that much for Chelsea. I know there was lots of talk about that coming in. Berhalter did rotate tonight a little bit, and let's be honest, he could. He didn't have Tyler Adams. That was not his choice. Who knows if he would have started? He did not have Chris Richards because of injury. Who knows if he would have started? I think Walker would have come back into this game, and Miles. Maybe Miles would have been the odd man out. I don't know. Here's the thing. And the phone lines are now open, and I know we've got 3 people already waiting, and you're going to get on. There are a couple of things that I think you and I should establish before we let people chime in on these topics. Number one, and again, just to contextualize this, that was a bad Honduras team. That was a cooked Honduras team. They were frozen tonight. They had nothing to play for. I give Albert Elise credit because he was hustling all the way down to the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, playing defensive plays on the other side of the ball, and I think one of the most sparse-dressed people on the entire field.
Yeah, it did not look like Albert was that affected by everything. Give him credit. But that was not a Honduras team that was really interested in playing tonight, and that would have been true kind of wherever you played it. However, with that said, and keeping that in mind, give Kellen Acosta credit for his performance. I thought he was excellent. Obviously, Weston McKennie was otherworldly, and he has been, regardless of the opponent. You give him credit for being man of the match for me. And then you mentioned Walker Zimmerman coming in, doing a job. And the guy that everybody on the phone lines wants to talk about, at least a couple of these people, Luca de la Torre. He gets his chance, and he takes it. Now, again, maybe you ding him a little bit because the competition wasn't that intense, and they didn't have much to play for, and the conditions changed it a little bit. But Luca looked good. I'm fine with him being a part of this team moving forward.
That's like telling a guy, like, hey, you couldn't go 150 miles an hour but you were driving a Peugeot. The thing can only do certain things. Like he can only play the teams in front of him. And what was in front of him, he did really well with. And I'd love to talk to one of these guys on the phone because that's a guy I want to talk about too. Look at the Tillery. Okay. Love seeing him tonight.
They're lining up. So we're going to do this. We're going to go first to our man, Felix in Chicago. Felix is always front of the line. Felix, you always got concert tickets. You were like the friend that stood out there and got them so you could like sell them to all the people in your group, right?
Never.
Felix, no, never. Okay.
We just dated ourselves. At some point, he actually went and had to stand in line for tickets. Right. When's the last time you had to do that?
Now you had to click over it. Like I'm in the queue online. It's terrible. Go ahead, Felix.
No. I remember going to the Jewel Osco, which is a famous grocery store in Chicago, and they have a ticket master in the store. You can get tickets for like $20.
I remember that.
Yep.
That was a long. It was a long time ago.
Time ago.
All right, okay. I just did it myself. I think I graduated the same year of high school as Jared. So.
Ooh, okay. All right. Well, then, old guys talk to old guys. Go ahead.
Old guy. Hey, middle-aged, right? So what I did want to talk about, was the game. Obviously happy with the performance. Reggie Cannon was okay. I don't think he was amazing. He was okay. Luca de la Torre, I thought, did well. I've been someone I was kind of like, how good is this guy? He has no goals, no assists in the Netherlands. I was kind of like, I think everyone's making a bigger deal out of this guy than maybe what he is. He looked all right. I mean, you should say he looked all right. He looked good against Honduras, which is horrible. They were giving him all the space in the world, but he looked good. I think compared to Busio, and I think I talked about this, I don't know, one of the couple shows ago, is the difference between Busio and Luca de la Torre is I feel like Luca de la Torre is more dynamic in his movement. You see, he moves just much quicker with the ball. Busio just seems slower. And I think, and so I didn't notice that. I thought Luca de la Torre was really good about getting into passing lanes and things like that. Again, it's a little hard to gauge because Honduras is so bad, but he looked good. I think going forward, if we're talking about rosters, and I think you have to talk about Busio or Luca de la Torre. I don't think you bring them both. Because neither of them are probably starters. Not because they're not good enough, but to just, I don't know if they immediately have already jumped Musa. But you're not going to bring them both because they are similar type of player.
Well, if you definitely bring
right?
you bring Musa, which you're definitely bringing Musa, then I think you're right. Now, Felix got a bunch of people, so I'm going to let you go because you covered a bunch of stuff, and I want you to leave some meat on the bone for some other people. Him saying Luca Del Torre is more dynamic. I get what he means in terms of Luca's mobility, right? I don't think Gianluca Busio is the most mobile player, but what you lose in Gianluca Busio's mobility, you gain in his passing ability and his vision, which I don't think Luca has. There were a couple of times I'm watching Luca bring the ball up the field, and I'm thinking, there's the pass, there's a slip pass. You can get somebody in behind, and he plays wide. And not that it's wrong to play wide because they were having a lot of joy playing wide, particularly with that Tim Weah side. But yeah, there is something to maybe there's a debate over Gianluca Busio and Del Torre, and who knows how you settle that. But right now, tonight, give the kid credit for taking this opportunity.
For me, when I see Luca Del Torre playing, I get young Claudio Reyna vibes. The part of the field, the way that he plays, the ability to go both ways. I think a lot of people that watch Claudio Reyna late in his career think he's played as more of a defensive-minded player. There was a portion of his career where he was right in the center, going both ways a lot, and that's what I kind of see it. And what I really liked is that he was trying to find those little channels, those little slotted balls. It wasn't always there because, I mean, listen, it's his first game with a lot of these guys. There's a chemistry thing there.
That's fair.
So in a first 90 minutes of gameplay with Weston McKennie and a lot of these guys around him, I thought the combination and chemistry was quite good for a first real. I know he's had a couple of minutes in other games, but first real debut for him at this level.
My only concern, and I'm not trying to rain on the parade. Again, I think you can only go on what you see, and regardless of what the opponent looked like. But this is so we've got this comment. Luca Del Torre was better on the half turn is hella better than the other backup number 8s. Luca Del Torre is top 20 dribbles in the Eredivisie. Carries the ball with his head up. That's true. He's direct, right? That's certainly a thing you could use to describe Luca Del Torre. But what I am not sure of is how much maybe a laxer approach to defending in the Eredivisie, and I don't want to say it's terrible, right? But we kind of know by reputation that's not a league that defends, that makes it hard on you, especially in those spaces in midfield. And then in this game, where Honduras was more than happy to let Luca Del Torre go on joy rides throughout their midfield, right? There was no real challenge to him in that. So how do you judge that? I'm not going to get too wrapped up in it, right? Because it's a victory and he was good enough to help in that. The other thing, Jared, before I get, well, actually, you know what? Let's do this because Randall does want to talk about the midfield with Calvin Acosta and Luca Del Torre. Randall, you're on the Best Soccer Show. Go on.
Hey, guys. I am happy that Luca Del Torre finally got in, but at the same time, Calvin Acosta, my God.
Yeah, it's funny. Like a lot of people would forget that if you go back to his really rich vein of form he had with Dallas before he made that move to Colorado, he's one of the best set piece takers in MLS. People forget that. And that's one thing that when he hasn't been on the field the last 2 games, you don't have a true good set piece taker can both serve the ball and shoot the ball. We didn't get a chance to see that tonight with Kellen Acosta. No. He's got a wicked free kick shot as well. Even if you think about the times, even the goalkeeper, how many times do you see the goalkeeper spill his crosses because they were in such good positions and pace on the ball? He put it in dangerous position over and over and over again. And not just that, there's little chip balls over the top too. The kid's more than just a defender. But once again, I think when you get him into some higher level of competition, I don't know that he's going to look quite as good as he did tonight when he has a lot more defensive responsibilities.
Right, he has his spots, and I don't think that you're playing against teams that are well. Look, in this case, Honduras, their counterattack never really came off. I give a lot of credit to the backtracking that was done by guys who were ahead of the play in those situations. I think Luca did. Anthony Robinson. I was hard on Anthony Robinson. He was really now he wasn't some hugely influential attacking part of the game, but he was excellent. He did a ton of work.
I'm going to have a kind of a hot take on this one. You know why I think that's the case? He didn't have Christian Pulisic in front of him. I thought Jordan Morris played in much more favorable positions to get Anthony Robinson involved, and Jordan Morris was far more likely to actually distribute to Anthony Robinson on the overlap. And that's something I talked last week in midweek when it was just Nick and I on the show about Christian Pulisic looks him off to go inside way too often. You got to use the overlap once in a while to keep the defense honest. And Jordan Morris did more of that.
Yeah, this is the way I think about this this situation. That this is a slump buster. Connor says, go to the bar. You took out my comment and
My bad.
pick up a 2 just to get out of a rut. Now I don't. Now I'm not. Hey, I'm not. Connor went in a place I don't.
He
I
picked up
wasn't
2
taking.
assists. That's what he meant. He
That's
picked
what
up
he
2 assists tonight.
Pick up 2 assists. No, this was a get healthy game, and I think that's why Pulisic played the role that he did. Everybody freaked out about the cold and Pulisic and a hamstring and everything else, but Berhalter knew, like, if I'm going to get this kid back on a good path with the national team, this might be the game to do it. Honduras again has nothing to play for. Lots of reasons.
We talked about like Kellen Acosta being such a good service, a set piece giver. One thing to keep on the horizon is Gio Reyna's a really good set piece deliverer as well.
Oh,
He can deliver a good set piece.
If he was in the team right now,
But here's my question to you, Jason.
Yeah.
Is Gio Reyna have a place in this team over Timothy Weah right now? Think of everything that good came from the U.S. in this window. Came from the right side of that offense.
Who are we playing and where are we playing them? And I think that might be a factor here. Now, Gio Reyna is a next level kind of talent. I love Tim Weah. He's so smooth.
But Tim Weah's right for Berhalter's system.
I know. And Tim Weah
We're calling a system.
6 inches of space and puts in a dangerous cross, right? And when he's playing wide, it does make this team so much better. Randall, you're still there. I'll let you go, man. I mean, I'll let you have your piece. Go ahead.
Personally, I think Acosta tries to move for Europe on a free transfer, just to be transfer, and this is him basically trying to get any resume he can. Also, maybe play Gio in the midfield.
I don't think that's the
You're
case.
going to break up the MMA thing?
No,
it's tough.
I don't think you can do that. And I don't think and again, it's not that Gio can't play a little he can't defend a little bit, but I just don't think the dynamism. I know he's a fast kid. He's way faster than people really think that he is. But I don't know. I don't think he has the instincts to work in those areas of the field. That's just me. I know he plays in more midfield roles with Dortmund when he's on the field.
I want to give a quick update from Morgan. She's given to feeding us. So maybe I was a little too aloof with this. It says one of the Honduras goalkeepers being treated for hypothermia.
Are you serious? That's why he came out at halftime? Hypothermia?
Yeah, she's saying
wow.
yes.
Okay, so look, and this is what I said, right? I yelled about it on my radio show. Jared, did you know that I have a radio show? Were you aware of?
Yeah, you missed the last 2 shows.
WNBC. WNBC.
Yeah, I might have missed some shows.
Well, actually, you were on the last one. We just had to move the time.
That's true. We did it. I worked double shift on Sunday, and I threw stuff at you. So that's where we're at with that. But that's what I was saying. That's why this was irresponsible, right? That because you were putting people in danger. And again, we can be happy about the victory, and I think it's okay for us as fans to talk this out. But man, we don't need that, right? We don't even need the accusation that we put a player in a position to pick up hypothermia. I mean,
think about it too. The guy got his bell rung. He was on the ground for a while too. Like, you're not supposed to be laying on that ground.
Was that the first half or the second half? Because
maybe it was the second half. I apologize. It was the second half. Sorry about that.
2 different goalkeepers. Weah clocked a dude in the head with an attempted cross. All right, let's go to our man Ty Shelter, who said he wasn't going to call, but then decided to pick up the phone, and we love you for it. Ty, what's up?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Doing well, man.
Good,
3 points, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all I wanted. That's okay. Please, 3 points. I said I'm not picky about how we get them. I don't care. I don't need to be wowed. I don't need to, whatever. Just please put them up on the board. And then, of course, once we got the second, I'm like, give me a third goal. Like, let's go. Keep pressing the advantage. Goal differential. Yeah. Let's see it. Guys, what ultimately got me to call in was Luca de la Torre. Obviously, I'm not the only one who saw, the pace, the feet, the creativity. Obviously, you guys have already talked about all of that before I even got in, so I won't belabor that too hard. But it is great to see. I want to talk about Walker Zimmerman a little bit. I think last time I called in, Jason, you specifically asked me, like, hey, what did you think about Walker Zimmerman? Like, did he show you what you wanted to see? And just tremendous defending going forward on the set piece. And man, it's just so nice to see set piece goals back in our, on our locker.
It's good to see any goal, especially in the first half.
Any goals, yes. But this is what we're getting a lot from the comments. And look, I don't think this is out of bounds to be concerned about the lack of open play goals. But man, we're in a position now where we were so down after the Canada loss. You were concerned about our place in the table. You're looking at this thing, doing the math. How are we going to qualify? They had to win this game. I'm not going to look goals in the mouth right now. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, they're not good enough, especially in those conditions, right? I'll take what we got. you created the opportunities via your play to get the fouls, to get in those positions, and yeah, they missed a couple of chances, and I do worry about that finishing. But,
I want to get to this now. I'll get Ty's take on this too. And Dan Kane's saying, Jared and Jason, is a ref allowed to just dismiss at a time like that? I know it's 3-0, but goal differential matters. The review on goal 2 was 2 minutes alone. Okay, so but what we're saying, and here's the thing I want to talk about this. If the referee does have some ownership to the safety of the players and the safety of what's going on.
Yeah, he's got to
own that.
weigh a bunch of.
Was there
stuff.
any different if there was lightning striking towards the end of the game and they didn't do the stoppage time? You wouldn't have any issue with that, probably, right?
Right, and you're probably not going you're not pausing the game and coming back and saying we need to play 3 minutes of added time. I mean, you could. That could be a way to handle it, but I don't think that again in this situation that's logistically possible. I thought O'Shea Nation was absolutely terrible tonight, but maybe maybe that's the conditions affecting him.
It's terrible or not. Ty, what do you think, man? Is that a good call by the referee, or is that kind of maybe against what the spirit of the game is supposed to be?
Yeah, no, I can't remember. Did I tell you guys I got certified as a referee this year and started officiating?
Woo!
Oh, check you with the humble brag.
There it is.
Yeah. So, that was my son was my oldest kid who kept playing all the way up to high school. And all of a sudden I had a fall, and I was like, hey, instead of volunteering for coaching, I should get paid to officiate.
You want to be abused, Ty. You have a masochist streak.
Yeah,
right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't quite count on how much. Well, actually, this year they're so short on refs. People were just happy to have somebody show up in a yellow shirt with a whistle. But in this case, yeah, absolutely agree. Nation does not have a great night. I mean, all the way around in terms of consistency, in terms of fouls, in terms of judgment calls. I don't think his ARs helped them very much on some of the ones they're supposed to have a better look at. I don't have a problem with calling that game at the stroke of 90. I mean, again, the conditions, if you have a goalie that came off at halftime for hypothermia, if it's 3-0, that's 1-1, and both teams were facing elimination. Honduras was facing elimination if they didn't win, and you call it at 90. That's very tough. But in this case, I think if you'd offered it at 85,
I'm sure the Honduras coach was like, "I'm fine with this."
Yeah. I think everybody on the Honduran side would have been fine. And again, that does speak to this sort of the nature of the game, and we will continue to. By the way, Ricardo Pepi did break his nose, so that's a thing that happened as well. Well, we continue to get comments like Alex, who said 3 set-piece goals while Greg took selfies. We can judge that here in a second. You have to get these results, don't get me wrong, but Honduras, a team that is winless in qualifying, this isn't some sort of quality win. You need to see more in the final third. We're all on board with that, right? Again, this does not fix everything. It's just 3 points, a step toward World Cup qualification in Qatar.
Yeah, it's
for sure.
Go ahead, Ty.
I was just going to say, Landon Donovan was on Grant Wall's podcast again this week, and he was saying, look, quality win, the quality win is a win. In qualifying, you take every 3 points you can get. Nobody cares about style points in CONCACAF, and I think that's absolutely where we're at.
Yeah, I think that's right. Ty, I appreciate the call, man. You got any parting words?
No, just again, love being a part of this. Love listening to you guys do what you do, and so glad we have this community to come together and celebrate this team. And I think we are on to bigger and better things very shortly.
There you go, Ty
Thanks,
Shelter.
Ty.
Fantastic stuff. Ty is a very, very good writer. You should go support him. He writes on his life and on many other topics at Gimme Shelter. It's SCHALTER. He's been an NFL writer for a long time as well, so go check him out. Newsletter.tyshelter.com is where you can get all of that. I love Ty's support.
Check out Jeff Carlson here. Can't call in, but can we just talk about how we had 6 FC Dallas youth products make the field today with 5 starting?
Dan Hunt was very excited today, and I don't want to go into detail about how excited he was, but Dan Hunt was extremely excited today. Let's just say it that way. And look, they went out and spent a bunch of money, so they're doing stuff to try to be competitive. If they can marry that with producing these kind of players, hey, you know what? Give credit to FC Dallas and love what they do.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
We're not talking about Justin Shea yet. We're not talking about potentially Brian Reynolds on the road. I mean,
Andrew Tessman, all those guys. All right, let's go to Chad from Durham. Chad, you're on the Best Soccer Show.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What up, Chad?
Come on,
I want to
Chad.
talk about the direction. I just wanted to talk about the direction of the team. Do you guys like where the team's heading?
I don't know. Well, if they're heading to Qatar, yes, I really enjoy that where they're heading. I don't know. It's interesting because to this day we still haven't seen the whole best 11 out there. Gio Reyna's been gone for 4 months at this point. And Christian Pulisic's getting intermittent time at Chelsea. It's a tough thing, and we still don't know who our real two starting center backs are. I think it's Zimmerman and Miles Robinson. I believe in that pairing. Nicholas Murray a little bit ago put up that they're 7-0-0 every time they started. So that's a hell of a stat to put up there. So I'm happy where the program is going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just considering how our qualifying journey has gone.
I mean, I guess
I just think that stuff's not exactly right. Yes, we got 3.3 goals. But from
sorry, appreciate the call, Chad. You're dropping out on us there. Well, I will say, look, I will say that I am not convinced by Berhalter yet, right? That there's a lot of sizzle and no steak for a lot of what he has done so far for the national team. They are on a track to qualify, not, without flaw, not in a perfect way, not in a comfortable way. I would have preferred that, of course, win every single game and ride off to Qatar behind this huge, rocket of momentum. That probably wasn't going to happen. It was probably not realistic. I mean, not the winning every game. That was clearly not realistic. But even like to be dominant, to show everybody that we're a player on the world stage, that wasn't going to happen with this team being so new and so young and all these things, right? So when you say, are we heading in the right direction? Are you happy with the direction we're headed in? I don't know that we've actually taken steps towards the future that can be measured because we're in the muck right now. It's like, it's like walking through quicksand, Jared. Like you're just happy if you make an inch of progress.
I think it's it's a question answered in two ways. One, I'm very happy with the direction the program is going. The program is producing youth talent, getting it to Europe, and getting it minutes. Producing good.
You mean the culture? You mean the culture? Because I don't know
that question was kind of broad, so I'm not exactly sure how he necessarily means it, but I'm happy with the way the program's been going since 2018. I think there's been a direction to it. I think it was a shock to the system. In terms of how the men's national team is performing right now, I think there is some questions to be had in terms of, are we doing the right things? Are the players on board with the system that's being run? And is the right guy driving the ship? That being said, we're in second place in World Cup qualifying, so you're not going to change too much. But I think the next leap is with time between 2022 and 2026. That's really going to show if we're in the right place.
So here's a comment about the progress. The problem is that feeling like we've been progressing for 3 years, we've been transitioning for too long. How do you measure that, right? I'm not giving Greg Berhalter a pass. I think they should be in a better place. It should absolutely be more goal dangerous from open play. He should be picking a number 9 and going with that guy. Pepe was pretty good tonight. He fluffed his minimal chances that he had, but he was active. He was involved. He was making runs. He was opening up.
I can answer that question. Here's a way in which you can quantify this over the last 2 years. Let's say 2 years ago, Sebastian Lletget was a starter on this team.
Okay.
Now he didn't dress for 2 of the games and didn't play in any 3. Think of what a stalwart he was for Greg Berhalter just a year ago. Right. And if you don't think this team is progressing and moving away from that being your baseline talent that you can count on from game to game, and now you're putting guys like Luca De La Torre in there and he's performing like this, forward-thinking Sebastian Lletget, that's what he looked like tonight, a guy that's not afraid to go forward with the ball.
That's about the youth of the group, right? That you didn't know that Luca De La Torre
and the maturity of it.
Well, no, this is what I'm saying, though. You're saying like Sebastian Lletget was a starter 2 years ago. You know why Sebastian Lletget was a starter 2 years ago? Because Yunus Musa was 16. Mm-hmm. There just was no way to know that we would be here. So what Greg's got to do is got to figure out which guys are ready, right? If you're good enough, you're old enough. I agree with that. Find the guys, but you couldn't accelerate that process. So the 3 years of transitioning is the 3 years of guys maturing to the age of being ready to play international soccer.
And while I don't want to I don't want to give too much credit for a team that had to play against a really poor Honduras team, but you also saw the difference, I think, a little bit in the maturity of the team when they had older players on it tonight. That team had some players on it that were willing to take their foot off the ball. One of them being Luca Del Torre. One of the things I'll give him credit for, he picked the right moments to sometimes not force the ball. He didn't play back all night long, but he chose his points. Like, there's sometimes we see him he would actually put his hands up to the rest of the team, like, hold on, stop. He would take the ball, slow it down, reset it.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. And again, I think Walker and Kellen were good influences on this team in this game. That doesn't mean they should be starters. I mean, Walker, we've kind of locked that in. But Kellen Acosta should not be starting every game if you have Musa, McKennie, and Adams available. Let's go to Roland from St. Louis. Roland, you're on the Best Soccer Show.
Hey guys, I want to talk about Luca De La Torre. I've never been, a huge fan. But the way he played tonight, it made me realize that, in a lot of ways, this team has lacked a number 9. Everybody's talked about that. It's like, is Pepe the 9? Is Pereira the 9? And they haven't been the answer. But the other thing is we've lacked a number 10. Pulisic wears the number 10, but he's not a 10. And I thought Luca De La Torre played a 10 tonight. And if he plays the 10, that kind of blows up the MMA midfield, which I love. But that's the whole question of.
I don't know that it blows it. I don't know that it blows it up, because here's the thing: number 10 really only exists in a 4-4-2, and he's not really going to play a 4-4-2. You can do it in a 4-3-3, but you are playing a double pivot probably in order to give that player space, and that player's occupying the center of the field and being the outlet so that he can turn and find those. I really feel that Luca De La Torre did a very good Yunus Musa impression tonight.
Yeah, not to kind of dump on Roland, but this is true. This is what I feel about the 10. We have this idealized version of the 10 in our head, a romanticized notion of what a 10 is. That doesn't really exist, partly because of the activity that's involved and the pressing that's involved in modern game. You just can't play that role anymore.
Barcelona was the last team it existed on, and look at Lionel Messi when he goes to PSG, and you're playing a different game.
Yeah, but he was a left-sided player. Go ahead.
I know it's Xavi's team, really,
but look at the times that Luca De La Torre got in the center. He was in the middle, and then he set things up for people. Mm-hmm. I mean, he did that again and again and again. And, I don't know how you fit that in with the MMA midfield. He was good. The other thing is, the other question is, if you have the best players in the world, do you put your 11 best players in the world together on your side and they don't play together well? Or do you put together the best side that plays well together?
Yeah.
And I thought Luca De La Torre made them play better together.
Okay. I'm not moving on from Yunus. Thanks for the call, Roland. I'm not moving on from Yunus Musa.
No, but it's nice to know that there's another option.
No. But to Roland's point, it's like Luca De La Torre was good enough that maybe you find a role for him. No, that's not how this works.
You can't make that off one game against Honduras at home in the freezing cold. Like, you've got to see more, and you got to see it a few more times in a different manner. Can he do it against Mexico in the Azteca in a month from now? That's the kind of thing you need to know about him. And we don't know if Yunus Musa can do it, to be honest with you.
Let me. I think I already had one, but I passed it by. We didn't get to it. But pick your poison right now. Based on what you saw tonight, what you've seen of Yunus Musa, you're going to the Azteca. It'd be great to get some points. You can't just bag that game. Are you starting Yunus against Mexico? You got to think about what Mexico does. Starting Yunus, you're starting Luca De La Torre.
That's as easy as a big butt and a smile. Like, that's. It's Yunus Musa. I mean, you
have to look out. You have to be careful with a big butt and a smile. Easy. Be careful here. Okay, go ahead.
It's Yunus Musa for the sheer fact that the three of them have been playing together, and I don't think you stop that. Even when you look back to the Canada game, was the midfield the problem?
I don't think so. No, I don't think
so either. And while I do like that McKennie and him seem to have an instant rapport and movement of the ball and stuff like that, but I think it's Musa's job to lose right now. And don't forget, you got the win against Mexico at home with Yunus Musa on the field. Yeah, looking good.
I think Yunus is still the guy, but as he said, and this is why the fan base was clamoring for Luca to get a chance, because maybe he could step in and maybe he could become the guy who pushes Sebastian Lletget out of the team. Right? Yeah. I think that's fair.
Yeah, there's potentially some talk for that. But before we get to the next call, I want to Morgan also for reporting to us that Kyoto was also being treated for hypothermia. The other player didn't come out from the halftime. So
okay,
I got a different thing for you now. Then is this Honduras maybe over exaggerating a little bit to make the point that this game shouldn't have been played? Can they make this go back and protest now if it didn't meet FIFA's expectations?
I assume they could file a protest if they really wanted to. Absolutely.
Didn't work well for Costa Rica a couple years ago.
Yeah, Costa Rica filed a protest and lost because of the Snow Classico. Maybe. And look, again, I don't blame them if they do.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't want, just for my selfish point of view as a national team fan, I don't want them to take the 3 points away from us. And by the way, it looked like Canada might get a forfeit tonight because El Salvador was threatening to strike over payments and stuff. They're playing. It's 0-0 right now. So who knows how that's going to end up. But they did finally figure something out and they're starting to play. I mean, it's not a great night for CONCACAF on that front. And by the way, U.S. Soccer is responsible for this. And I need to know. We were hearing today that the head coach has a 51% vote, basically, not in fact, but in like the way they treat venue selection when it comes to that. So this is on Greg. Right. And I look, I'm not going to be the person who freaks out over a selfie on the sideline when the game's still going on normally. But, dude, yeah, it's
okay. Oh, wait, look, hold on, though. Hold on. We would think it's great and part of the mystique if it was like, say, I don't know, Miguel Herrera doing it.
It's a read the room situation, Jared, is what I'm saying.
We don't expect Miguel Herrera to read the room, but we expect
but he's not our head coach. He's Mexico's head coach.
You and I would be here saying how awesome it is. We would be thinking it's funny and like great.
But if they were not playing, if Mexico was not playing well, and they had a game where they whooped up on a patsy, the way Honduras is a patsy tonight, do you think the Mexican media and the fan base would be like, "Yeah, Piojo, go do it, man. It's great. We love it. More." No. And by the way, he's not been their head coach for a long time because he acted stupid, right? Tata Martino's never going to do
get results, but
Tata Martino would never do that in a billion years.
Tata Martino he's not wearing Jordans on the sideline either.
He's got no sauce. You're saying he's got no sauce, but do you care if your national team head coach has sauce? I want him to put our team in a position to win games.
Tata Martino's sauce is like a mole. It's deep and rich.
But that's
Berhalter's more like a scampi.
All right, let's go. Let's go to Jose from Atlanta. Jose, you're on the Best Soccer Show. Actually, I did not click the button. Let me try that again. There's Jose. Jose, you're on the air. What's up?
Hello, guys. How are you guys?
It's going good, man. What you got?
I got a couple things to say. Today with the story, it surprised me because I see him back in the U20s. He didn't really impress me at all, but today he did the job. He did the job well. And also shout out to Walker Zimmerman. I trained with him back in GSA, back in Lawrenceville, when he was a U19, U18. Shout out to Lawrenceville. And also, I was thinking about the future formations. Why don't we just put Reyna like at the 10 and then drop him in and then have like two wingers and then have the MMA still in the middle? I don't know what you guys think about that.
So you're talking about playing him as a false 9, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think that's a crazy idea, by the way. If you're going to play Jesus Ferreira there, you can play Giovanni Reyna in the same spot.
But you have no information to say that Gio Reyna could ever play that position. We've never seen him do it.
That's true.
At least for Jesus Ferreira, every once in a while you'll see him do it with Dallas. Not often, but he'll do it. Even Christian Pulisic, you've seen Stanley Tucci put him in there a number of times for Chelsea. So I don't see why we're rolling the dice on like these big, huge moves just to try to shoehorn all the players on the field at once.
Right. And we're at a point now. Look, I do think that there's room to maybe think about experimentation, but I keep talking about how Berhalter's overthinking everything. I want simplified. Now, that means that he may choose to do things I'm not 100% on board with, but if they are effective, then that's where it matters, right? And again, make it easier on the players. Right? Honduras did not really present a challenge for the United States, but they found a lot of joy in those wide areas. Against Canada, they couldn't do it. So figure something out if you need to adjust. I want a plan B, right? I need something. And maybe Way is the factor, right? Maybe Way is the X factor because of the way he can play to the inline, which you're not getting out of anybody else in this team except for Pulisic, who doesn't want to do it because he wants to drift inside.
Tim Weah is forcing some uncomfortable conversations, I think, once Gio Reyna comes back. I mean, I stay with the hot hand. I'll be honest with you. Gio Reyna is a talent. I'm not going to say otherwise, but Tim Weah makes this offense work. What little bit is working in this offense right now is 100% dependent on Tim Weah. You saw in Canada what happens when you don't have him.
Okay, let me ask you if you think this works. 3-5-2. You can play all 7. Pulisic, Weah, Aronson, MMA, and Gio. Can you do that?
Yeah, let's not play goalie either. Let's just that way we can get Luca Del Torre on. Let's not play a keeper.
Well, so I'm assuming in this situation he's got Pulisic as the second forward, right? He's got to, right? And then he's got MMA, and Gio's playing where?
Here's the thing. Berhalter wanted to do this. It didn't work. He's tried it multiple times. It hasn't worked, mainly because defensively, we don't have the right players to do it in a 3-man back line. You're not going to play Walker Zimmerman in a 3-man back line.
Look, you still have to have balance in your midfield. You can't just roll out 7 attacking players and think it's going to work. And
you could have done it tonight against Honduras. You wouldn't have been punished for a 3-5-2 against Honduras tonight, but I don't think you play it in a lot of other situations.
All right, let's go back to the phones. Steve from Boston. Steve, you're on the Best Soccer Show.
Hey, fellas. Look, real quick here. I was going to just cut in because the chat's been going off about this, about no goals from run of play. I want to point out that there were no set piece goals scored at all in qualifying prior to this. And in today's game, we scored 3 goals. And in the 18 or 19, I think it's 19 now, competitive matches that have been played since the Nations League semifinal, this team has only scored, including tonight, more than 1 goal in 7 of them. So it's tough to be critical of not getting any goals from the run of play when there were never any goals from set pieces anyway. So I think you got to look at that as a positive at this point.
Right, to add that to the arsenal is what you're saying.
Yeah, to take advantage of Wes McKinney's innate talent in the box.
Yeah, I mean, why it did bring up the question of why were we not better with set pieces before, right?
Because Kellen Costa wasn't taking them
to dominate to dominate and score from the run of play. That'd be fantastic, and I think we definitely feel like there's more. It brings you a little extra juice as a team if you're scoring from open play. But if you score from set pieces, they still count the same, and you'd like to have that as a weapon to use, which the United States always did. So to have Acosta in with that service. Now, we've already talked about Acosta. It was pretty good tonight. He's not going to start if Tyler Adams is healthy. He's just not. And Musa and McKennie. So you then have to find someone else to take the set-piece deliveries. And I think Pulisic had a couple of decent ones against Canada.
Let's not forget, McKennie put one right on Boreon, off that. But that was literally like his 7th, and that was the first one to clear the first man.
No, it wasn't. You're exaggerating. There were definitely a couple that did not clear the first man, but I think Acosta had one of those tonight too. So it does happen occasionally. All right, Steve, what else you got?
Well, Acosta, I think, was a little more consistent. Pulisic is better, I think, when he's trying to put one on goal, but his corner deliveries were bad. And Jared, to your point about wanting to ride the high hand with Weah, which I agree with, it's tough to do that, though, because Reyna's deliveries from the corners are so much better. And he adds that dimension to a team that has so much height and so much header capability. But, I'll get off and listen to the rest, but the last thing I'm going to say is, first of all, shout out to the Besties Slack. You guys have been real active. And second of all, you were talking about the hypothermia thing and whether or not it was, they're going to file a protest or whatever. The snow game was a protest because of regulations. If players got hypothermia, you guys know, I'm an attorney. You guys know that. Mm-hmm. They might file a lawsuit.
Oh, Steve's chasing that ambulance. He's chasing that ambulance, baby.
Hey, Steve's calling up the Honduran Federation right now. Do you need some representation? You can reach me at 555
at drunklesteve.com.
All right, Steve. I hope that doesn't happen.
Steve, if you were in Minnesota tonight, would you have taken your shirt off to celebrate?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, probably. I would have regretted it later, but absolutely.
Yeah, I know you, baby.
That's Steve Store Esquire right there. That's what that is.
For all your hypothermia representation needs.
Yeah, shout out to Steve, who I just let go. Let's see. We got another Ty. We'll drop in Ty from Jersey this time. Wants to talk about this attacking midfield situation. Ty, what's up?
Hey, the reason why I called in today is I've been hearing all the talk about Reyna coming back, and I was just thinking of, I think something that we always talk about the nut that's missing from the team and how that's relating to not scoring goals. But I think something that could really benefit the team is a central attacking midfielder like Reyna or like the role that Aronson plays at RB Salzburg.
But you're gonna have to change up the formation a bit. Then I mean, that's that.
I mean,
you're
by
changing
the
a
way,
lot by doing that.
It should be in the toolbox that the Berhalter has adjustments with formation, right? But then there's just that matter of responsibilities. Go ahead.
Well, what's the problem with changing the formation? I mean, you haven't been really scoring that many goals recently. I mean, I don't see why not take a risk at this point, like something like that.
It's mainly about resetting responsibilities within the system, right? It's working through. All right, so you are now 10 games, 11 games. Tonight's 11, right? 11 games through World Cup qualifying. You have 3 World Cup qualifiers left, and you have what, a couple of friendlies maybe before you leave for Qatar. Like, when is this going to happen?
My issue with it is no matter what you decide to do from a formational change, you're going to end up most affecting the one part of your game that's working, and that's that MMA midfield. That midfield is working, and that the ownership, the responsibilities, the chemistry that's there, the areas of the field that they know to occupy, you're going to have to sacrifice something there, potentially sacrifice something, and that's the one thing that's working. So to me, I think I would rather see personnel changes within the 4-3-3 system like we saw tonight than seeing a formational change, which asks a lot of young players now to learn something all new again.
Yeah, look, and again,
not that they haven't played these before, but new here.
It's just the path of right. It's the path of least resistance for a team that does not get to train together like a club side. It's not to say the Berhalter's 4-3-3 and the way that it works is the best way for this team to play. I don't know that it is, and I do think he needs a plan B. And I certainly think he should be picking the most goal dangerous center forward he can pick, regardless of form, regardless of whatever. I mean, I think Ricardo Pepi, even if he's not scoring goals, even if you think that Zardes is more physical against Canada, I think Pepi has to be in the game, and I think we saw that tonight, even though he did not score. He did get some decent looks, and I think he looks more dangerous. So there's that. And to the point about where you work in Giovanni Reyna, let's just nod Steve here. As much as I like Gio, it's pointless to discuss his standing in the team until he's fit and contributing at Dortmund. We don't know when the dude's coming back.
And see where he's contributing at Dortmund.
Right, we just don't know. Now, look, Tim Weah came back from injury and got right back in this team. Christian Pulisic came back from injury and got right back in this team. We argued whether or not Reyna should be in this team if he could make it back, and he was training, but clearly not fit. We do not know if Gio Reyna is going to be 100% before March. So why are we talking about it?
Well, the reason, the one thing I was more talking about was like, talking about errors and such in this game, and you have a team sitting back, or maybe you're playing a better team to come out and transition, how they have to switch to, especially in a World Cup setting. You need to get a little bit more creative, I have to say, against much better competition to have that option.
Okay, I'm going to drop you because your phone just
21st century. How do we not have better technology for phone calls?
Well, there's that. I got the gist of what he's saying. Now, everybody wants to project to the World Cup. Well, first of all, let's qualify. Okay, but a lot of people saying, well, look, even if we beat Honduras, even if we qualify, we're going to go out in the first round of the World Cup because, look, we can't score goals. That's very possible. First of all, you can't predict the future unless I'm missing something. Nobody can predict the future and knows exactly what's going to happen in the World Cup. And we've seen teams who didn't look all that great on paper go to the World Cup and progress from the group stage. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I'm saying it's a possibility. Okay?
I can't even tell you if it's going to happen. They don't have enough hotel rooms out there for this.
And then there's the draw. We don't know what the group draw is going to be. So there's that. But as for the idea that you need to be more creative at the World Cup because those are better teams, I'm going to reject that out of hand. Because if you're playing better teams, you're going to have less the ball. Why do I need a number 10 on the field who's just eating up space doing nothing? What back pressing? Like, I need somebody else in the midfield. I like the balance of a 4-3-3 and really, again, with Tyler Adams dropping deep and you can push the fullbacks. I like that against teams that might have more of the ball.
Can I ask you an obscure question right now? I know it's a little bit out of place and maybe ahead of ourselves a bit. With the loss to Canada being officially a major FIFA kind of fixture, do we need to win against Mexico away to have a chance of getting a seed?
I don't think that's on the table anymore. I think that might be done and done. I haven't done the math. I don't know what that looks like.
We're not too far away.
We weren't before we lost to Canada, but you're right.
That's what I'm saying. Would an away win in Mexico balance that out enough?
Right. I'm not so sure. I mean, a way to win to Mexico would have significant weight, but I don't know.
Do you really bring some big fish in for some friendlies right after this to try to make that run?
I mean, if you can get them, if you can reel them in. I mean, who's available, when they're available. I know there's no, you had that issue with the last couple of years with the Nations League eating up all the dates and various reasons you couldn't play European teams, qualifiers for the Euros and the like. And there's a little bit of thought of South America, but I don't know. By the way, just to check on scores, and I know podcast listeners after the fact will be like, what the hell, I already know this. El Salvador and Canada are scoreless, goalless in the 57th minute. Mexico and Panama goes in the 14th. So right now, that's
both
what
good
that
scenarios
looks like.
for the U.S.
Costa Rica already beat Jamaica 1-0 earlier.
That one
today.
not so good.
Let's go to, well, yeah, I guess if you imagine Costa Rica could chase us down, I don't think it's likely. Wes from Idaho, our man with the beard, calling in this time.
Yeah, you guys took away the video, so I can't show it off anymore. But
we'll hear scrunching against the microphone in a moment.
That's right. Do you have to like hold your phone like away from your beard? Do you have to do that?
Sometimes it's rough. It's a rough life, guys.
No, you chose this life.
Feel sorry.
Wes, come on, you chose this life.
I did. So here, you guys are talking about Luca de la Torre and like either Busio or Musa. I think Luca de la Torre takes Roldan off the roster.
It's possible.
And I think that's where he gets his spot.
Well, here's a question for you then, Will. I see Wes. Do you think either Roldan or Leggett will be on the Qatar team, assuming they qualify?
Me or Wes?
I don't think they will.
With the onset of Busio, De La Torre, potentially Tessman?
Well, so the only reason, and the only reason that you could maybe imagine one of those guys, and I don't think both, I think that's pretty unlikely. The only reason you could imagine one of those guys is that Berhalter decides he needs a little veteran leadership in that part of the field. That's the only reason.
Kellen Acosta kind of brings that, though.
He does.
I was just going to say, Acosta's doing that. Like, he saw it all night tonight. If we get that Acosta every time he plays, I am thrilled. But I think Acosta brings more leadership than what I realized until this window, watching him and what he's been doing.
Well, I think he's always been a pretty decent leader, especially last year. I think he evolved into a pretty decent leader. He had such a crap game against Panama that we all dropped him well down the pecking order and thought we don't need this guy in this group. And that wasn't just on him. Leggett was on the field in that game. I mean, Yunus Musa, I think, started that game and wasn't good, if I remember correctly. Maybe I had that wrong. But there were some frontline starters, but 7 rotations. It's really hard to kind of figure out if that was on Acosta or not. He's not going to be a starter when everybody is healthy. But if you need a guy on the bench and a guy in training and a guy off the bench who can help you late in the game or a spot start if somebody goes down, Count Acosta is the guy. So maybe no Leggett, maybe no Roldan.
Yeah.
Brian in the chat saying veteran leadership is overrated. So who's going to listen to Roldan or Leggett? I don't know, man. Like,
I don't think that's true.
I think I listen to the guy that landed Becky G. That's just me. I think he knows something I don't.
Well, that's okay. That's true. That's
he's got
true.
secrets. I'm just saying he has secrets.
Yeah, I mean, is she moving to Boston for him? Like, is that happening? I need to know.
I don't know, man. Now he's got Becky G and Bruce Arena. Come on,
Brucey A and Becky G. Look at that.
One more thing, Jason. You're talking about De La Torre and how he played it out wide when he could have gone into somebody. I think that's more Greg's system because I saw the same thing over and over. And I was like, this has got to be just Greg saying we want to go outside.
Feed the beast. That's where Way is.
No. That's possible. That's very possible, Wes. But I also think Greg, this is public. Who knows what he's saying on the training pitch? But publicly, he's talked about pressing that space. I want Luka to press his way into the box, and you'll still get an overlap. You'll still have room to make a pass wide, not to pull it back and play the. And look, I know they're trying to move the defenders for Honduras, so you're playing to the other side of the field, which is where Weah is, and you're forcing everybody to turn and go in that direction, which then should open up space on the backside, especially for those runs when Weah eventually crosses the ball. I get that. I just think there are pockets that need to be attacked, and nobody really has done that in this window.
And I agree with you 100%. There's several times in the game I was like, I just wish Luka would have passed it to Pepe, who was right there, and kept running into the box, or Weah would have made a diagonal run that he could run onto if he just made a nice little 1-2 with him. But he just kept going out wide. So, and that's what made me go, well, is this Greg's system, or is he choosing that? I think that's the question we got to ask ourselves.
But
hey, let me call in. You guys are great.
I appreciate it, Wes from Idaho. I mean, that is the question we're asking. But again, Jared, you've already said it. That was Luca de la Torre's first game. with this group in this situation with these players, and
if you want more minutes, you're gonna do exactly what Uncle Greg wants you to do.
Well,
and
that's
if
true.
that means you
That's
play
true.
the ball wide, you play the ball. If it means you feed Tim Weah all night long, you feed Tim Weah all night long. Because guess what? You want those minutes, baby.
Nope, oh, you're making it weird. Let's go to JTT. Sorry, not JTT. JT, different guy completely.
Wow, way to blue ball the whole chat at once right there.
In Chicago, JT, what's up?
Yeah, just got done celebrating the win with AO Chicago at AJ Hudson.
Hell
Two
yeah.
things. First, after a week of everyone complaining about the weather, to me, again, maybe I'm not big on Panamanian Twitter, Jamaican Twitter, Costa Rican Twitter. No, I doubt anyone complains this much when they're hosting us in Latin America in feels like 105 on a scuffed cricket pitch. I think you have to use your terrain to your advantage. And then tonight, when we looked great, we dominated, moved the ball. Yes, I would have liked to score from open play, but overall, we moved the ball well. We did not have those problems, and Honduras clearly did. It seems to me like we benefited from the terrain, and I think that maybe that sets in the most on set pieces when you have to stand still for a moment and think about how cold you are when you've been eliminated. So I will be the one person to defend the Federation here on this.
Okay, I mean,
the guy in Chicago is defending the Federation.
By the way, are you snowed in right now, Jay? Are you about to be snowed in, JT? I hear it's going to be bad in Chicago.
No, we had about 6 inches in the city.
So did I.
Main roads are clear. Side roads are a mess. So,
okay.
Anyway,
All right.
The other thing I wanted to talk about just quickly was, I feel like there were a couple of positive changes tonight after the Canada game when I think we saw that we had 80% of our touches to the channels and did nothing through the middle. There was a little bit more of that tonight. I thought trying to change the angle of attack through the middle. We got rid of the McKinney long ball pass, and we saw why. We want him in the box on set pieces, not throwing it to the box because he's our best header on the team. But I still think that if we're going to try to change our attack and not channel everything out wide and be shut down by a team like Canada, it's going to take changing something in the midfield so we're attacking aggressively through the middle. And that would require a Pulisic 10 who clearly wants to be in the middle anyway. So I love the MMA midfield. I love what we do defensively. But I think if we're going to change our angle of attack and not funnel everything to the corner flags, I think it might have to be, maybe it's not Luka, but somebody in the middle who has that kind of attacking mindset if we're pressing to try to score.
Okay, fair enough. By the way, I just remember, since we're not reviewing minute by minute or anything, Jared. When was that little saucy Weston McKennie outside of the foot slip pass?
Which one, dude? The dude got more sauce than A1 steak. This dude. I swear, my brother sent me a great text about it. It just perfectly summed up the way he looked tonight. Where the ball looked sticky on the ground. It was really tough to get out from under guys' feet.
Yeah.
You saw really when Luca Del Torre was trying to break a few times, the ball was just holding every time he tried to put it in front of it. But Weston McKennie just glides. The dude is gliding with the ball.
He's a next level
on ice
athlete. He understands the game, and he's obviously technically gifted, and he worked obviously on all of those things. But he is such an athlete that he has that confidence level that you cannot teach.
It's no coincidence that he and Weah had a couple interchanges. Those are two of the best athletes in the whole U.S. men's national team program. And when they get close together and they get a little bit of space to play, it got really fun there for a bit, just to think it. Weston McKinney's got to keep cheating to that right side to play away to make those things keep happening. But what an amazing player he is. I hope his form. Italy has done so well for him.
Oh, yeah. I think the tactical elements of that are huge for him in Italy. And just the trust.
Keep watching DuBois, baby. Keep watching DuBois. And then you'll be the Bala.
No.
Come on.
I let you get away with 6 inches in the city. Okay, I let you get away with 6 inches in the city, and now you're trying to rush the bala on me. I mean, come on.
Say one of us has to try and take a shot once in a while.
All right, so it looks like the phone calls have completely stopped. So and we're about an hour. So this is where we can start to begin to slow this thing down a little bit. I think we've hit on so many great things here. And again, we want to make sure that the context is involved, that this was Honduras. They're already eliminated. It was 4 degrees outside. By the way, Greg Berhalter, when asked about the weather Charlie Boehm, our man Charlie Boehm. I
Chucky
asked
Boom
Berhalter
Boom?
if holding games in such conditions will always be considered necessary for the national team. Quote, you're asking the question insinuating that we're the only ones playing in these type of conditions. Canada scheduled the game up in Hamilton, and it was in the teens. Same for us. Do you think that flies? Do you think that tracks?
Oh yeah, my kids do that all the time. Well, he hit me first. Like that's what we're saying here, you know.
Well, he got to do it. Why can't I do it? That's right. That's right.
Well, it'll change when one of his laces freezes up on one of his sneaks and breaks in the middle of a game. Okay, that's the only time this is ever going to change. You know,
Canada has gone one up on El Salvador. I've seen in the chat people are saying that Tajon Buchanan got away with a foul. Whatever. Tajon Buchanan's getting away with a lot these days, but good for them.
Getting away with that haircut.
We're not catching Canada. They're going to take one of the automatic spots. Let them have all the points. It really doesn't matter. I mean, I would love to finish first.
Yeah.
But
I used to feel the same way about Mexico back in the day. Sure, take all the points. They take them off from everyone.
Yeah, right now Mexico's still 0-0, so they're having some trouble getting their attack going. I mean, they played to that goalless draw against Costa Rica. If they played to a goalless draw at home against Panama, you could say Tata to Tata, because I don't think he's sticking around. Like, I just don't think that's gonna work out for them. And then you wonder about Mexico going into the final window. New coach potentially at the Azteca against the United States.
If you're Mexico, do you change coaches with one window left?
I don't think it's a good idea, but that's what Mexico does. Right? Firing coaches and tacos. That's what Mexico does. And playing good soccer sometimes. Occasionally.
But here's the thing, though. Like, they usually get bumps out of it. They get short-term bumps out of coaching changes. You see it almost every time.
Well,
and you've got a big game at the Azteca.
So Piojo's at Tigres these days. But I wonder if he would pick up the phone. Just bring him back. Bring back Miguel Herrera. Throw him in this on the sideline and see what happens. All right. How can Jason deny that McKenny is Dybala? Not what I'm denying.
I'm just telling you, I'm starting a movement over here. You can fight it if you want.
It's not what I'm denying. All right, I want to take this opportunity before we run out of time, and I know we usually go a little bit past the hour. First of all, to congratulate our man, Nikki Soup and Bowl. Ooh. I think that's where I'm coming now. I'm throwing it Nikki Soup, and it could be Nikki Soup and Super Bowl.
Soup and Super Bowl is better.
You think Soup and Super Bowl is better?
We can let Nick weigh in it.
Look at this. We're a soccer show. And Nicholas Soup and Bowl, Super Bowl, Soup and Sushi, Soup and Salad, Soup and Breadsticks, whatever, is rocking the Cincinnati Bengals gear. Congratulations, Nick. We really are happy for you.
You coming out to LA, baby?
Oh, man. You know how many people have asked me if I was going to go? But the tickets, dude, they're like the cheapest one is $6,000.
I saw some prices. You
can couch share if you don't have to get a hotel, baby. Come on out. We'll play some disc golf.
Those Bengals fans. Ooh. Gouge them.
That's
it.
We'll bang some chains.
The superstitious man in me, I don't think I can do that. I have to watch it in my living room, wearing my Bengals jersey, wearing the same sweatpants I've worn for the last 3 games. Like, that's why I'm growing the Jason Davis
have
beard.
You washed them?
I got a game right here, Jared. I got a game. Okay. All right. So Nikki, we know that Nikki Soup and Salad went to celebrate last Sunday. That's why he wasn't on the show. After they won the AFC title game, he said, "I'm out. I'm gonna go get bombed." And this is what I think people who listen to the bonus show, and maybe we've mentioned it here, Nick is not a big drinker.
Yes.
He doesn't drink a lot, right? He does. And we, by the way, Jared nailed it. You did go hang out in the friend's garage, right? That's how you celebrated. Okay. So how many drinks? First of all, were you drunk at the end of the night, or did you manage? You managed.
No, there was actually ended up being too much going on with the kids and homework. I did have 3 or 4 beers, but I did not get drunk.
That was going to be the game.
What drink you had? Yeah. So
you can guess that,
or the number. I was going to say how many did he put?
There were some, but we're going back and forth. What beer? I landed on Fireball in the end, not beer.
I had a shot of Fireball.
That's what I'm talking about.
Did you have a shot of Fireball? Okay. Well, look, that's
all right. So Morgan had she had the banquet beer. She had banquet beer.
She had Coors banquet beer. Was that on the agenda? No. Okay,
I'm going to go. I don't know. I said red, white, and blue Budweiser. Like, not light, regular Budweiser.
Standard Bud.
Super American.
No. I think.
I don't know if you made a pick. You're a fence sitter. You probably didn't make a pick.
No, I didn't. It's not that at all. I'm not sitting on fences when I'm just trying to come up with a beer that I think. Sure. No, let me make a guess.
Okay.
Let me make a guess. I am going to say. Man, what is it? I mean, I don't even know. I guess I forget where it's available. Like Yingling sounds like a good beer for you to have. No?
I mean, I will drink it if it's available, but it's not like my go-to. But no, it was not Yingling.
Coors Light.
Would you like a hint?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't guess. He's giving us hints.
I would say it is the headquarters is near where the game was played tonight.
Tonight, Minnesota. Okay, what's
up there?
Paps.
No,
it's
Pabst
Milwaukee.
it's a Milwaukee beer.
Well, I mean that's not too bad.
Yeah. I don't know what beer.
There's a few beers in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Milwaukee's
Is this what
best.
you're saying? It wasn't Milwaukee's. You didn't drink Beast.
No.
There's no way you drank Beast. Come on.
More mainstream.
The PBR has been mentioned in the chat. Was it
Nope.
PBR?
No. This is a pretty large, significant brewer.
Miller
Light. You had a Miller
Yes,
Light.
there you go, Miller Lite.
Oh, I said champagne of beers. Remember, I said that.
That's
No, I said
High Life.
I don't. I
That's
said.
High
I said.
Life, yeah.
Ah, dang it.
But then you also named it. You called something the champagne. You called the banquet beer Coors
Yeah,
the
I did.
champagne of beers, which is
I did.
definitely not. Miller High Life is the champagne.
All right,
of
Nick.
beers.
You congratulations for your team, baby. I hope. Is it the 13th? Is that when the
Yeah,
game is?
so I'll be able to do the show this coming Sunday. But
Oh yeah,
I
we
will be-
know you're out. We are. I told my wife already. Like Super Bowl Sunday, Nick's not going to be around. I don't know what's going to happen with the show yet.
And your kids, did I hear correctly that they've already given all the kids the day off after the Super Bowl in your area?
In Cincinnati.
Not where I live. So I'm about 3
Cincinnati
hours
proper?
north. But down in Cincinnati, like the main school district, Cincinnati Public Schools, has already given off the Monday after. A lot of
that's
like
just-
the parochial
that's just
schools
smart.
are.
How
Yeah.
did Minnesota not give kids the day off of school tomorrow if they went out to that stadium tonight to watch the U.S.?
Well, yeah, that's only what 18,000 people out there, whatever it was. Come on, that's fine. That's fine. All right, congratulations to Nikki Soup in Super Bowl.
I appreciate all the kind words from all the besties in the Slack, and I'm sorry if I didn't respond to all of them because my phone.
drunk.
You know what's
No-
next? MLS Cup title for FC Cincinnati. That's going to happen. That's what's going to happen.
If I told you beginning of the year, what would you think was more likely, Bengals in the Super Bowl or FC Cincinnati and MLS Cup? What would
Oh,
you have
yeah.
chosen?
What would you have said?
Oh, easily Bengals.
Easily.
It was
Bengals.
not
They
even
got-
close. They have a
they got a
quarterback.
MLS goes
franchise
for worse the
quarterback.
first often, though.
They got a franchise quarterback. They
I will
got
say
Joe
this.
Burrow.
My wife, I told her last night, I was like, can you believe we are less than a month from Major League Soccer kicking off their season? And my wife goes, so is FC Cincinnati going to be any good? And I said, nope.
I
So
want
little
them to
faith
be
in
good
Pat Noonan.
because I want you to be surprised. I just want you to I want to see the surprise every week as they continue to be
I
in
hope.
first place or something.
Well, they better start getting some players because
All right. There
My
goes
team finally did.
Nikki Soup in Super Bowl. Congratulations to him.
Thank you.
We always mention when Nick's on the show that please leave us a rating and review. Go over to iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever, and do that. Help us out. We have the Patreon where you can send Nick special messages through the Slack. You can listen to the bonus show. We'll talk about whatever on the bonus show. Sometimes it's soccer, sometimes it's not. Morgan's also a part of the bonus show. She's the one putting up the messages about following us on Twitter and on Instagram and on TikTok, and she's killing it with the social media. And today is National Girls and Women in Sports Day, so I want to celebrate Morgan for that because she's been a great addition to the program. What's happening? What's happening? There she is.
Oh, it's Brady Bunch time.
When's the last time you made an appearance on the main show? I can't remember. Has it been a little while?
No, just last Sunday.
Yeah, last Sunday.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
We had to
Okay.
ban a creep in the chat.
That's true. We did have to do that. Let's keep it to a
Yeah.
a nice.
We will
polite level.
regulate up in this place.
Well, anyway, and she's rocking that's like the faux denim one, right? Like you found a hookup and you got like a faux denim. That's a
Yes, I
good
did.
looking shirt though. Like
It is good looking.
if they wore that now, Jared, that would be a good look, right?
It was good look then.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm saying it's cycled back around because it was a bad look for a while.
Bring it back.
I got made fun of for wearing it because it came out 4 years before I was born.
Well,
So.
yeah. I think that's a good way to end things, right, guys?
Wow.
Yeah, someone swaddled it with her in one when she was a baby.
Morgan's part of the golden generation. That's what we're learning. I mean, we
Oh
knew that
yes,
already.
she is. But she is our representative of the McKinney,
I am.
Adams,
100%.
like
Yeah, yeah.
Pulisic generation.
I'm
if-
the same
if
age
you
as
didn't-
all of them. Yeah.
If it's ever like, oh, we want to hang out with those guys, we're gonna say, hey, Morgan, can you
Yo,
speak
what we need is we need a
person?
segment where we have Morgan decipher their tweets and Instagrams for us, so we can
TikTok.
understand what they actually mean.
That is beautiful. That is what we need to do. Right. We need a social media update from Morgan on the show when we talk about this young generation of players. Yeah. All right. Anyway, celebrate Morgan today, National Girls and Women in Sports Day.
Thank you, Morgan.
She's fantastic with us. Mr. DuBois, any other business before I hit the button and get us out of here?
I think that's it, guys. 3 points. We're happy. Glad we could do a real true post show for you guys live right afterwards. Hopefully we can bring it to you guys in the next window. But we got a few weeks to talk about it.
I don't have a pen handy. Should I get something else? Throwing something else at you this time? And enjoy and celebration? Should we make that a...
Let's just remember which one of us chose violence.
You know what? I think I absolutely am the one more likely to throw a punch. If there was ever a situation.
Oh, God,
100%.
yes.
Yeah,
I'm more likely to run.
There's some joke there. French surname, cowardly behavior. I don't know. Something there, right?
A lesser man would make the joke, I guess.
Okay. Thank you very much to everybody who called in. You guys are brilliant. Shout out to everybody who dialed us up.
Love it.
Again, thanks for the likes and the retweets and everything else that you're doing with us. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram and all that. And we're out of here. Congratulations to the United States getting 3 more points towards World Cup qualifying. See ya.
Eddie, what have you done for me lately?
Michael freaking Roscoe Fiscal.
Oh, it's incredible!
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. It was that.
Oh, here we go, saucing them up. Hit him, wet.
Take us to death on 3.
Get to the chopper!
That's him, Iceman. Playing hot dogs and donuts with 2 fangirls in the locker room.
Danger zone! Damn, dog.
Inappropriate.
Jay Rodius.